Okay, good morning students. Today we are going to start our first topic, that is the motion. Okay, so in the previous video I have just give a little bit idea about the motion, why we learn the motion topic. In the nature there are so many things which inspire us to know about the motion. For example, what as we know that we have see the motion of bird. By watching the motion of bird, our scientists have get the invention about the aeroplane. Again, the motion of other planets, and they have studied the different phenomena regarding with that motion. What happens regarding with the motion? So many things are there, like motion of bird, the motion of wall clock, the motion of planet, and if we observe the motion of all these three different scenarios are going to different. Now motion of bird is like a random motion. It's not a fixed case. In any direction it can move. In terms of motion of wall clock, it is a circular. In case of motion of planet, again it is a motion of circular. Again, if you take the example of motion of rocket, it goes straight line. So what we observe the different scenario, the motion, the different kind of motion we can see that. Earlier it was linear, circular. Now if you take the motion of swing machine, that is again different. The motion of fan, the motion of earth. There are different kind of emotions exist in the nature. And we are going to study the different kind of motions, their impact, their different forms. So now in terms of class 9 especially, we are going to deal some general concept regarding with the basic as a motion, as already we have familiar with them. Okay, so just start with the definition of motion itself. The motion is nothing but what? The change in position of an object with respect to time. Suppose for example, object A right now here, after some time the object moves and it goes at place B. So we can say that object moves from A to object B. It means that object comes into the motion. Earlier it was in rest. After some time the object goes from A place to place B. So we can say that the object is in motion. Again here I mentioned the point, the change in position of an object with respect to time. That is again one important aspect, the time. Because time is going to change, time is not going to fix. Earlier at what time it was at that point, after some time it goes to another point. For example, what I can say that right now at 10 a.m. I am in Sangola. After some time interval, after 1.5 hours, suppose I go to the Pandharpur at time 11. So I can say that at 10 o'clock I am in Sangola and at the 11 o'clock I am in Pandharpur. So here I have changed my position. Earlier I am in Sangola. Then after 1 hour, I just go to the Pandharpur at 11. So here what happened? I change my position. Whenever the objects goes in motion, the time is also going to change. Getting? So that is the critical point or important aspect about the time. We have to mention that time is also going to varies. Again, second one important point here I mentioned here, reference point. Reference point or origin, that sometimes they are using the word origin. Now what do you mean by origin or what do you mean by reference point? So we can mention one point that suppose I say that Sangola is 5 kilometers. Okay, I just mentioned what? Sangola is 5 kilometers. Whether this statement is properly right or wrong. So what, there might be ambiguity in our mind. Sangola is 5 kilometers. From where? We have to mention the full statement that Sangola is 5 kilometers away from Kamlapur. So here what I mentioned, I take the starting from Kamlapur. Kamlapur, that is the reference point. From where Sangola is there. So for getting an object in motion, we should know the origin or the reference point. Whenever I say that my school is 10 kilometers away from my home. So home is the reference point from where we have started the motion. Are you getting? So while calculating or while doing the motion, we should know first thing is reference point. From where we are going to see. So that is the reference point. Otherwise there is no any meaningless that Sangola is 10 kilometer or my school is 15 kilometer. But here we have to mention from where it is 10 kilometer or like that. So that is the reference point is important. So that is the reference point. Okay. Now as we have defined this motion, as we mentioned the reference point, as we mentioned the time. Now what are the category? Means this motion might be. There are two mainly types, or we can say that category of motion. First one is uniform motion and second one is non-uniform motion. Now what do we mean by uniform motion and non-uniform motion? Basically, uniform motion as name itself indicates uniform, simple, single, one. So in terms of if your motion is uniform, it means what? It covers equal distance in equal interval of time. Means suppose what if I started my journey from one place to another place. Suppose simple what I can say that I just go from Sangola to Solapur. Suppose I say that within 1 hour I just went to the Pandharpur. That is suppose I have completed within 1 hour 30 kilometer. Then next 1 hour, if I completed the 30 kilometer, then I can say that my motion is uniform. Here what happened? Equal distance covered in equal interval of time. As in case of journey, 2 hours journey, suppose I cover 60 kilometers. Okay, but in that what? In the first hour I cover 30 kilometer and the second 1 hour I completed 30 kilometer. So I can say that my motion is uniform. But suppose if I say that out of 16 kilometer, if I completed 40 kilometer in first hour and remaining 20 kilometer in second hour, so in that case my motion is not uniform. Why? Because in first hour I completed 14 kilometer and in the second 1 hour I completed 20 kilometer. So in that case my motion is non-uniform motion. Mean my speed is not a constant, but if here what? Your speed, the time, all is going to constant. So in that case, I can say that it is a uniform motion. So now, what are the example of such kind of uniform motion? Can anybody? Yes, the example what? The motion of wall clock. If you observe the motion of wall clock, the second hours, minute, whatever, they covers equal distance in equal interval of time. Even the motion of earth, as we know that earth complete one round in 24 hours. So I can say that it's not like that today it completes 24 hours and second day it required 26 or in the 28. It does not change its time period. It takes the same distance cover the 24 hours. So I can say that my motion is uniform. Getting the example of uniform motion. Second, that is a non-uniform motion. It's totally opposite to the uniform. In terms of non-uniform, it covers unequal distance. As I mentioned earlier, that I did not make the same time and same distance. So in that case, non-uniform motion. So many examples are there. Suppose I am moving a car through a straight road. There is no any rush. There is no traffic. So I can move a constant speed. Okay, but suddenly whenever some hurdles are come there, okay, I apply brake, my speed goes down. Okay, so in that case, or in crowded area, my speed is not going to constant. So in that case, the motion is not a uniform. It is a non-uniform. Are you getting this? Some basic terms: uniform, non-uniform. Now again, one important thing is about what? Whether that motion, in your book we have to mention one sentence is that motion is a relative term or absolute term. Now what do you mean by relative and absolute term? That is one of the important aspect in terms of physics concern. whether that concept is absolute or relative. So absolute means what? That is fixed, that is not going to change in perspective of other. But relative means what? It is going to change in perspective of others. Means what? Let's see one example here. I am going to mention here. There is one person standing on bus stop, okay, person A, and one bus is going to move on the road in which two passengers are seated on their seat, person B, person C. Okay. Now, by perspective of A, A thought that the person B and C are in motion. This person B and C are in motion. In the perspective of A, as a reference point of view, A, this B and C person who are sitting in the bus, they are in motion. Now, if I look the perspective of B, if I take the perspective of B, B thought C is on rest. C is on rest. C passenger seated on his seat. Though bus is going to move, but he is sit on that seat. So by perspective of B, C is in the position of rest. At the same time, the perspective of A, C and B both are in motion. So it is not fixed. It is going to depends upon the रेफरन्स पॉइंट. तुमच्या रेफरन्स पॉइंट नुसार ज्या टर्म्स चेंज होतात त्याला आपण रिलेटिव्ह टर्म्स म्हणतो. ठीक आहे. या केसमध्ये जो बस स्टॉपवर व्यक्ती थांबलेला आहे त्याला वाटते की बस मधल्या दोन ज्या पॅसेंजर्स आहेत ते मोशन मध्ये आणि बस मध्ये बसलेले जे काय पॅसेंजर्स आहेत त्यांना वाटते की ते रेस्ट मध्ये. भले बस मोशन मध्ये जरी असले तरी ते रेस्ट मध्ये. सो दिस terms is known as a relative term. So motion is a relative term. Motion कोणती term आहे? Relative. Motion is not an absolute term. Motion is a relative. Let's say one more example. Right now what? Suppose what we can say that in perspective of the person. Suppose I am going to sit here, stand on here. So as in perspective of, you can say that you are in rest. But some other aspect, some other person also say that he is in motion also. How? Because right now the blood is going to move. I am taking the breathing. I take the breathing. Getting. So it is in also motion. So it depends upon the respective person or reference point. So that's why the motion is in a relative term. That is one important aspect about that motion. That is whether the motion is absolute or relative. So answer is what? Motion is a relative terms. Okay. Now, as we discussed closely related with that motion, the different kinds of motion, as you are familiar in class 7, 8, that is a linear motion. Name itself indicates linear motion, straight. The motion of an object with a straight line. That might be like the straight or even it is also a linear motion. Getting? Though it is like this one, but still it is in a linear motion. Simple anything. Right now it is in horizontal, it becomes vertical. Whenever it comes in vertical, that we will discuss in terms of the different kinds of motion by perspective of gravitation. But right now what we are going to learn in this topic, that is the linear motion. Simply we are discussing the terms about the linear motion, how the object moves in straight line, and some introduction about only the circular motion. Getting? So linear motion, so many examples are of linear motion. The motion of rocket, the motion of the motion of soldiers whenever they are doing the parades. The circular motion, so many examples are there, as motion of wall clock, motion of earth also. The rotational motion, it is again a circular motion, but here they have a fixed axis of rotation. For example, fan. If you are observing the fan, ceiling fan, it having one particular axis, along with it going to rotate. That is a rotational motion. Even the motion of swing machine, it also having the oscillation is about the machine of swing is an example of oscillation. That is a different kind to and fro motion. To and fro motion. To and fro motion. That is oscillation. That is the other parts. Okay, but we are going to study basically the linear motion. In this topic, our focus is about the linear motions. Getting? So overall, these are the all introductory part about the motion. What is mean by motion? Why we are going to study the motion? What are the different concepts associated the motion? Some very basic terms that is going to need whenever we are going to learn other type of motion. Now in the next article, which is again important regarding with that scalar and vector, one of the introductory part about the scalar and vector. So what is a scalar and what is a vector? In physics, whatever the terms are there associated with the physics, so many terms comes into the physics as like mass, force, acceleration, speed, velocity, temperature, heat, whatever the concepts comes, all lies under. They might be a scalar or they might be a vector. We are going to distinguish this any quantity, either scalar or either vector. Now what do you mean by vector? So first thing, the quantity which can express the quantity which can be expressed by two things. One is its value and second thing is direction. Such type of quantity is called as a vector quantity. And for expressing the quantity, we need only its value. We need only its value is called a scalar quantity. Are you getting? Now I will show some differences. For example, the scalar quantity I mentioned as a mass, speed. Mass is a scalar quantity. Scalar quantity in the sense what? As you know that mass is going to measure in terms of kilogram. Simple. Suppose I want to purchase 1 kg of sugar. So to express that what is the mass or what is the weight of that, I can use simply its value, 1 kg of sugar. Here what happened? 1 kg. That is sufficient to express the quantity of a mass. So here I can say that mass is a scalar quantity. It does not require direction. It means what? It does not going to change. It means what? At a north side, the mass of sugar is 1 kg and at other side, the mass of sugar is going to different varies. It's not like that. In other direction, it does not depend upon any direction. So for expressing that quantity, we need only one terms, that is the scalar quantity. For example, mass, for example, speed. Now, some quantity required both. Some quantity required both its value and the direction also. Its value and direction also. For example, force. Now, how we can say that force is a vector quantity? Take a simple example. Whenever we go for any hotels and all that, where the hotel having the door, where mentioned the push or pull. Suppose we want to push that door, okay, it gets open. But whenever I try to pull that to our side, then it does not get open. Here what happened? Here I am going to apply the force. Here I am going to apply the force. But the result is going to vary. Because what? For open the gate, we need the appropriate direction. We need an appropriate direction. If I not use a proper direction, whether that gate is going to open? No. So here what? Not only force, but we require direction also. For expressing such a quantity are called as a vector quantity. For example, like force. Take another example of force. While riding the bicycle, whenever we paddle the bicycle against the wind, what happened? We require more force. We require more force because what? The wind's direction is opposed to our motion. So in that case, what? I need more force. And in terms of opposite, if I go with the direction of wind, what happened? I did not need so many to paddle. I go easily with the direction of wind. Here what happened? The direction directly or indirectly affect on your force, affect on your the impact. So that is force. We can say that. It's like it is in vector quantity. To express, to get that, we need both value as well as direction. That is the force. Again, the terms velocity, latter words speed and velocity we will discuss in detail. Velocity again, vector quantity. Velocity along with the direction. As right now, what recently we see the example of that in Maharashtra, the Nisarg Chakriwadar. We can say that it comes, and as if you see on the TV, after 1 hour, 2 hours, it shows the Nisarg Chakriwadar is right now in that position with its speed in that direction. So here what? We not express that twister, Chakriwadar Mutadalaban twister. I am not mentioned that what is the speed. I also mention in which direction it goes. मी असं म्हटलं नाही की बाबा चक्रीवादळाचा स्पीड एवढा आहे. Along with I have mentioned that in which direction it takes place. So that is the velocity, where I am not use the speed, where I use the word velocity, because that velocity required both what kind of its value as well as in which direction it goes. So such quantity which require both magnitude as well as direction are called as vector. Now you should go differentiate, take any physical quantity and try to yourself express. Let's take the example of temperature or heat. Now for the temperature, whether we require direction or whether the heat require the direction, you can do that and you can differentiate that quantity either comes vector or either comes in scalar. Okay, so that's it about the vector and scalar. Okay.